views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody, welcome. Sheer Alchemy. I love it. Sheer Alchemy. Today, I get connected with someone that knows a ton about it. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. Sheer Alchemy with my co-host today, Leslie Fonteyne. This topic that she has picked for today is so good, it makes me want to eat a chocolate cupcake. That's how good this topic is today. If anybody knows me, you'll know I don't eat chocolate cupcakes, but I'm feeling it. It is called Me First. Is that so bad? Wow. Leslie, you are amazing. Transformational catalyst. And I want to tell you, today's show, for those of you getting ready to call in, you're going to get to experience what this means, both from an intuitive and an energetic perspective, because that's what Leslie does and does it so well. You know, she works with people all over the world, invites in the ascended masters, the archangels, into the conversation so that we can partner with our higher self, source energy. And what I love about what she does clairvoyantly, what I love about this is that she takes down the barriers that we have that say we don't deserve to have these conversations. We don't deserve to have this awareness. Because you know what? Every day we have an opportunity, many times a day, to tap into this high vibration that has always been us. So today, Leslie takes on a conversation that is so pivotal to where we are right now, that we will, at the end of the show, know how to break free of the shackles of we when it doesn't serve us. Leslie, welcome to the show. It is a cool topic. I love it. It is a very cool topic. It's almost scary to say it out loud. I liked what you said about not being allowed to talk about it. So true. So true. You know, I was thinking, getting ready while you were doing the intro, about remembering a time that any of us had where we were alone in life. You know, we didn't have a partner. We didn't have kids. Maybe we just got out of school. And somehow we were supposed to think there was something wrong with that. Like, oh, something's missing. There's a problem here. Let me clog this up with people, children, baggage, whatever it is. And I know all of us can remember a time, and it would be so cool today if a lot of us could get to the bottom of the messaging that caused us to clog up our lives with things we really didn't need to do but felt we had to. And that's what I just want to get some people thinking about while we're talking here. Well, let's talk about it for a little bit, about the topic in itself for today. And we're going to jump right into this. Me first, is that so bad? You know, this is one of these things, right, that even if we're sitting with ourselves, we can entertain the me first. But the way we show up in public, it's very different. It's like, I'm ashamed, Leslie. Yes. I'm going to tell you now. I have to tell you, this is really something that I've thought a lot about. And, as a matter of fact, Linda and I have talked about this. We show up in public, and it's almost embarrassment and it's shameful to be me. To be a me. It's shameful to be a me. I mean, you know this. We've gone through corporation after corporation, training program after training program that says me is bad. It's bad. We got to be about the we. And then I'm thinking for a minute, wait a minute, let me just step back and think about some discoveries in our lifetime. And I started to think about the people that, had they not taken time in solitude for themselves, the Einsteins of the world, would we have some of the discoveries? So this is confusing, Leslie, and I want to know how this works in how we define who we are.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's a very confusing thing to people because, on the one hand, the act of creation is a very independent thing. No one is in our heads at the same time that we are. Now, we eventually share it with other people that have talents to complement what we're creating, right? So a lot of us work independently because we're afraid of engaging with others or intimacy or any other kind of vulnerability that terrifies us. You know, we might have learned about trust issues. There's that part. But then there's groupthink. And, that's one aspect of this whole thing. But the other is, why we live the way we do within our own existence, why we choose what we choose. And when we take a look at it, the yeses and the nos, what's okay and what's not in life, it would be really interesting to break it down and go, what are the reasons that this is okay and this is not? What are the barriers over there that say you can't step into this thing? Have creation time, for example, for 2 hours. I was reading about that executive at Microsoft who's got a schedule, time in his schedule for creating. It's just creation time. And what stops a lot of us from having that?
Well, what does? What does stop that? I mean, if we think about what stops us from having that, is it's got to be one thing. Because I can think about the times in my life where I have not carved that time out, and it's fear. Yes. Now, why would it be fear, Leslie? Why would that be fear? Why would it be fear? Well, I could tell you a lot of reasons in my life why it'd be fear, and I don't think I'm alone. No. How many of us have thought, we just talked about this a little bit before, how many of us have thought that we're not enough, that we have to layer ourselves with more work, more relationships, more codependency, more money, more this, more that, more of everything but spirituality. Right. That's why I don't have time to carve out for creativity.
That's true. That's true. I mean, there's also... How about you? There's our comfort zones as well, which is that when I'm serving others or when I'm taking care of others in my life, whether it's my job or my family or whatever, I'm comfortable. When I step into something creative or say, all right, I'm going to give myself an hour today to go create something and I have no idea what that thing is, you're right. Fear does come in. Fear comes in because we're not sure we're going to come up with anything. And then comes the expectation of productivity and value. So somehow now, if I take an hour out to create something by myself and I don't know the outcome and I don't know whether I'm so-called good at it, then this fear comes in, and it's the performance of the world. There's nothing in and of itself that makes it good, special, wonderful. But this is where we shortchange ourselves over and over and over again. So the me first part, how bad is it? Or is it bad to take some time out for oneself? We start getting deep into the layers. So I could say that I feel very comfortable taking care of others, and that takes many forms, right? Our job is a form of that. We do that. We earn a salary. We earn our keep, and we were taught that. But if I step into something that's my passion, and I could sit at a coffee house with you, and I could tell you, oh, Pat, I really want to write this book. I really want to do it. And, okay, what's stopping me? Am I wearing handcuffs? No, I'm not. So the next thing that we step into is fear of success. Where does that come from? What success? Whose measurement? So it gets very deep, But the me first, is it so bad? That's something that has many layers within us, and I hope we can explore that.
Well, yeah, let's take a short break so that we can explore it. The many, many layers of me versus we. You know, what is it that we tell ourselves? And what are really, when we think about it, what are the consequences of choosing we when me is what is really needed? Mm-hmm. How does that even look? Leslie Fonteyne joining me here today. You know, we're going to tell you about Leslie, where she's going to be. Body, Mind, Spirit Expo in both Raleigh and in Chicago, then traveling to Cincinnati and then in London. We also have a fabulous CD to give away, Stepping Into an Intention by Leslie. We'll do that when we come back. And also we'll be opening up the phone line so that you can get some assistance, as Leslie will tap into the Ascended Masters to help each and every one of us open up to that source energy in the divine life. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with the show.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone. Boys, I'm surprised how well you cut my feelings too.
You got attitude? Keys to the rescue. Adjust your attitude with Keys Clear Protein Waters. So refreshing. Just a few sips of Keys will give you a whole new outlook, thanks to 22 grams of the happiest protein on earth. Tongue-tingling tasty without the guilt of naughty or nasty ingredients. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, maybe you need to drink too. Put a little woohoo in your attitude with Keys Protein Water. On Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com.
Own your leadership, own your life. Start your new year right with this life-shifting all-day workshop led by Wendy R. Wolf and Lynn Brown in Bellevue, Saturday, January 31st. Step into more inner and outer leadership in all facets of your life. Activate the power in being present, owning your space, and harnessing all of your energy for you. Own your body, own your relationships, own your path, own your life. To register, go to healgrowshine.com or email Wendy at wendyrwolf.com.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Tune in to the Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit jenroyster.com for more information.
Called the Oprah of Radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatshow.com for listening times in your area.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here. Share Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne joining me here today. There's a lot for us to say about me first. Is that so bad? And Leslie is someone that travels the world, helps other people, whether that be, face to face, or whether you're working with Leslie one-on-one over Skype or in person. It's going to be an experience that's going to help you move beyond whatever is holding you back, because that's what she does. If you want to find out more about Leslie, go to lesliefonteyne.com, and it's Leslie, Fonteyne.com. Definitely you can find out more about where she's going to be. Show up, say hi to her. But today's topic, the topic she picked, is for us to understand, what it is about the we that gets us in trouble. Is there such a thing as being in service over and over and over and over again without taking care of yourself? Leslie, thank you for joining me here today. I know this is a big topic, so have at it.
Well, one thing that I'd like everyone to do, and I brought this up at the beginning, is to take a look at your choices. Now, all of us have things we sit down with our friends and we say, I would really love to X. Whether it's travel the world, go on a cruise, write a book, build a business, whatever it is, okay? So what I would like for people to do is look at the yes side and go, okay, I really want to do this. Okay, so what's standing in the way of stopping you now from preparing? And take a look at that. Notice where you're tight in your field. Notice where you start getting a little anxious, okay? And then explain to yourself why you're not doing it. Notice all the reasons that you're not doing it. And ask yourself, okay, well, would you give that up? Well, no. Why? Well, I feel good doing these things. The reason I want you to do the yes side and the no side is that it shows your agreements within your field. We're not just this, two-sided, two-dimensional being. We have multiple layers, our emotional layers, our spiritual layers, our mental layers. We have all kinds of competing desires and needs that are really important to us. Now, some of them are outgrown, right? Some of them don't fit us anymore. Some of us made choices because someone else wanted us to do things. Maybe our parents said, you should be married, you should have children by now, whatever it is, your culture, your society. And you resent it, and you're frustrated, and you're trying to make yourself happy, and you're not. And then when I say, all right, choose again, there's all this fear that surfaces, and you brought that up earlier. So we want to look at that fear of what does it mean if you are me first? What does it mean? Does it mean that when other people are upset with your choices, therefore you should not do them? Let's take a look at the rules that are driving our life that make us decide, well, I can do this, but I can't do that.
So, Leslie, in the work that you do and the people that you find, what are some of the fools? What are some of the fools we come up with?
I love that. That was a good one. What are some of the fools that we come up with? Some of the rules and the beliefs. Well, it is that if I step into my joy and my passion, then I will upset people. If I step into my joy and my passion, I will stop taking care of my loved ones. If I step into my joy and my passion, I will be poor. So we have many, many things within us. So we want to examine that, right? So some of those things that we come up with the beliefs, that's the neat thing about getting to the core of them. And then we want to break it down and go, is that true? Or have I adopted some extreme thinking that, okay, if I create a new business or I step into my passion or I take a couple of hours a day out of my life when I'm not exhausted to do something for myself, that I suddenly disappoint and let everyone down in my life. It may be that those choices no longer fit you. You made them at a point in time. Maybe you were 20 years old and now you're 50 and you're going, what did I do? Okay, well, let's look at it, but don't act like life is over. Many people are starting again at 50, at 60, at 70. It's up to you how you look at this now, but you can choose again. No one's got handcuffs on you. You can decide again. And if someone is so upset about you being authentic and being who you are and standing in your truth, take a look at that.
Well, this is really part of it, too. It's taking a look at what is really true for us. And that's where the work that you do comes in. Because part of this may be something we've brought forward from many, many lifetimes where we didn't have a choice to be me.
Right.
Let's talk about that for a minute. There were lifetimes ago where you may not have believed that you had a choice. I mean, certainly if you were women that grew up in my grandmother's generation, although my grandmother was a little spunky, if you grew up in her generation, there was a role that you played, and I'm telling you, you did not deviate from that role.
Nope.
So tell me about the effect that past lives have on what we choose today.
Well, the great thing to think about your life right now is that everything you're going through, even if it's absolutely hellacious, and I want to encourage everyone who's going through stuff. I bet you're going through stuff, Pat. I'm going through stuff. We're all going through stuff. So everything we're serving up right now is an opportunity to clear, to shift, to take a look, question authority, and shift out of it. Change the agreement. So you are absolutely right. Multiple lifetimes of agreements and energies in our field, things that have been ankle biters, things that have held us back, things that have stopped us because the last generation couldn't be a CEO as a woman or whatever it is, or everyone in the family said, that's the enemy side. We can't go and talk to those people over there because they're not like us. All that crap is in our field. So here we are serving it up, ready to release it. So the only decision we want to make right now is, am I done? Do I want to release this? Let it go with forgiveness and all that. So we carry our mother's energies, our father's energies, the ancestral line. We carry some people are flinging at us all over the place. If we're super porous in our field, we can start the day great, and within an hour, man, we're dragging. So what happened? So you can walk into, a hospital, and my God, there's all kinds of energies in a hospital, much less a corporation. So these are opportunities for us to check our field and go, does this fit anymore? Or was this what I thought when I was 12? So let's take a look at that, but we go into this extreme thinking like, if I am all that I am, then somehow everything else in my life will fall apart. Take a look right now. Make some notes. Do a stream of consciousness. Just download. What on earth is coming up for you that is terrifying you should you shift?
Well, this is really part of the conversation that we look at in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve in life. What is the level of awareness we really are calling in to play here, Leslie, when we're talking about clearing the pathway to let go of some of this. And so, that's what I mean, a lot of times what we do is we take a look at our lives and we think, okay, you know what? I'm never going to see. How many times have you heard this? I'm never going to see that in my lifetime, Leslie. Right? I'm never going to see that in my lifetime. And by the way, let me tell you, you're not either. You're not either. You too, you must be smoking something because you're not going to see that.
Right.
And, had I listened to all of that, or had I even known about some of the things that people said to me after I had done some things, I wonder how they would have affected me. Going back to school is a perfect example.
Sure.
If I'd have known what I found out after I went back to school, I wonder if I would have made the effort. So much fear, so much of you'll never, nobody ever does, 1 in 1,000. Those kinds of things. How do the Ascended Masters help us get through most of this sludge?
Man, that's a real deep one. I was taking a look at the thought about, needless suffering. And I also was thinking about what you just said about if you had known ahead of time. How many of us have made decisions to step into something? We felt guided. We felt it was the right thing. Okay, whatever it was. And we're there and we're going, holy crap, what am I doing here? How did I get to this place? So here's this next moment of opportunity, right? Many of us get a psychic reading or a tarot reading, and that information is good in that moment in time. Once you make a new decision and you go, okay, now I'm going to choose this. Well, this was not available before you made the last decision. So here you are, you're in this place, you have this new opportunity to create. So the Ascended Masters are co-creators. They're teaching us, okay, in this moment, in this place, what do we want to create now? For some of us, we've lived such a disempowered life. We don't want to admit it. We play small. It's safe. We're not being too grand, too big. No one knows what the heck we think about anything. We have no opinions. We look real sweet. We're very complacent. We're very passive. Okay, are we done with that? Are we ready to step into all that we are? What is this moment doing? Do you feel like your back's to the wall? Do you feel like you've been around Mount Sinai for the 39th time? Are you ready to stop? So every opportunity you're in, the Ascended Masters come in, they go, you ready? You ready to make something happen? Are you ready to shift? And I can feel a lot of people right now releasing a lot of stuff. Yeah, you're ready. You're ready to do it. But see, we shame ourselves about our current circumstances, making us think, oh, I can't believe I allowed this to happen to me. Look at all these awful people in my life. How did I get myself into this situation? Why am I in so much debt? Enough already. You created it. Now let's shift. Let's change the energy and let's draw in something new. That's what the Ascended Masters help us do.
Yeah, my new least favorite word is why. Let's take a short break, everyone. And opening up the phone lines right now. If you want to connect with Leslie, get some things moving in your life. Call in something that you've always wanted to call in the spirit of abundance. Give us a shout, 1-800-930-2819. We're taking your calls, open phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. Let Leslie give you a little bit of that sheer alchemy. Get that going on. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fonteyne on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, remove your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Speaker, teacher, channel, clairvoyant, Leslie Fonteyne is a transformation catalyst who channels a powerful energy from source to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times and LeslieFonteyne.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatshow.com for listening times in your area.
Own your leadership, own your life. Start your new year right with this life-shifting all-day workshop led by Wendy R. Wolf and Lynn Brown in Bellevue, Saturday, January 31st. Step into more inner and outer leadership in all facets of your life. Activate the power in being present, owning your space, and harnessing all of your energy for you. Own your body, own your relationships, own your path, own your life. To register, go to healgrowshine.com or email Wendy at wendyrwolf.com.
It's here, the 23rd Annual Women of Wisdom Conference, February 12th through the 16th. This year's theme is I Am We, Hearts Connecting Communities. Join us Valentine's Day. Maiden Mother Crone by Sinner Saint Burlesque will entertain, challenge, empower, confuse, embrace, and deeply engage the audience, weaving feminist activism and our sensory exploration for both ancient and modern myths about the feminine. Community building events include open space World Cafe dialogues with Inspirational Jane to explore important issues to women and a teen activist panel interwoven with intergenerational dialogues. Find out all the details at www.womenofwisdom.org. That's www.womenofwisdom.org.
Register for a half-day workshop and bring a friend for 40% off.
Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. It's so great to have all of you tuning us in, turning us on. Leslie Fonteyne is joining us here today. We have opened up the phone lines, just so you know, if you want to call in and connect with Leslie directly, as we always love for you to do. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. You know, Leslie, I mean, I said before the break, one of my least favorite words these days, and, you know, I don't really have a lot of least favorite anything. I mean, I actually don't give much thought to my least favorite anything in life. I have passing moments. But I was really struck by the word why lately. And it's not like we use it regularly, like in an understanding point of view, right? You know, why does the earth rotate this? You know, not like that. It's not like that. And so somebody said something to me. I'd love for you to talk about it in terms of me versus we. Someone said to me not too long ago, you know, I don't really get you. You know, why would anybody dream a big dream? You know, why would they do that when, you know, they don't have the money?
Interesting, is it not? Very interesting, because the implication already in the question is how small I am.
Yeah.
And how insignificant I am in the face of a dream. So if we were to flip the tables right off, you know, and go, all right, I have this big dream that I'm going all over the world. I don't have 2 nickels to rub together right now, but that is what's coming to me. When we're stepping into any kind of spiritual or energetic life, what we're wanting to do is shift our energy to draw it into us. So a dream always comes when it doesn't exist yet. You know, that's the whole point. A goal comes when it doesn't exist yet. It's not this set of criteria. Well, when you have enough money, when you've got all the time, when everybody is supportive in your life, then you can pursue your dream. That is not how it works. And if you look at anyone who's ever created something great, they didn't wait for all the ducks to be lined up before they stepped into it. They just did. And when you do that, the key to this is that you begin to draw in the support. And where you are feeling small, that is getting served up to the universe for you to shift out of. Because when you shift out of being small, you are giving the world, honestly, an opportunity to feel your vibration. We're in a massive, massive shift now. I know you talk to hundreds and hundreds of people through all your shows, but we are in a huge energetic shift right now, and people aren't knowing what to do because, in a sense, they're surrounded by a world of negativity, and they're having these crazy dreams of things that they can create.
Yeah. You know, it's really fascinating to me, and I'd love to talk with you about this in terms of what we need to clear out and how we clear it out. You know, and I've shared this story before on air, you know, and I think that, you know, I've talked to you about it, but I met somebody 18 months ago who I never thought in a million years would become my friend and then open up a door for an incredible way to raise money through crowdfunding that's never been done before. A new paradigm. And, you know, now we are looking and helping other people look at their dreams and be part of this giving and sharing. And I watched myself through the process, Leslie, though. I really did. I watched myself be skeptical. I watched myself be careful. I watched myself be doubting. I did. I'm not saying that I did this a whole lot, but I did watch myself. I watched myself because it sounded too good to be true. Mm-hmm. And then I had to ask myself, where in the world did that part of me come from? And it was a discovery I made. And so I want to ask you, and by the way, I made the discovery and moved on. And in fact, you know, the discovery in itself really helped me in seeing what it is about what has happened over the past decade that has really instilled moments of doubt in the face of miraculous underpinnings. And I became my own best teacher. But I wanted to ask you about this because, when we start to look at the me, it can be looked at as selfish. It can be looked at as self-serving. It could be looked at as arrogant. And yet, if I didn't look at this part of me, I could not be doing the we.
Right. Well, so many of us, if we're looking in our own world, let's say that we've made a decision to move to another country.
Yes.
And our family starts telling us, why do you want to do that? We need you here, or what if this happens, what if that happens? So instead of being supportive, let's say, they start explaining all the reasons why you shouldn't do something. That's the typical first response. So the selfishness word is an interesting one because it's about what I want to create, what's in my energy field to do, what's in my essence. And the response afterwards is, how can you do that to us? How can you take away from us? So the implication that they have is that they can't survive without us, or, they're going to have to do some things for themselves. Instead of looking at it as their life path, that, hey, grow up. You need to take these things on yourself. The struggle's going to be good for you. We would rather suppress ourselves. So there's that whole thing. So then we step into all that we are. We start, going forward to create it, and we feel alone. And then the cycle begins again. And this is the power of an agreement. Something's wrong because I'm alone. And that is, to me, that empty space where we have the opportunity to create. So for a lot of listeners right now who have had a dream and then they go into that alone place, if the next message you have in your field is, something's wrong that I'm alone and people aren't supporting me, what's wrong with me? Instead of looking at it, how can I shift my energy? How can I release agreements with unsupportive energies in my life? And how can I begin to draw in the support of the universe financially, emotionally, spiritually, bring in the team?
As you go through the people that you talk to around the world, and you get to talk to different people doing different things, what is on people's minds around this? Because I know there's a reason that you came up with this topic today. There must be something lurking in our closet.
Well, the voice that is always niggling back there is, I can't. It's not okay. And so the challenge here is, why can't you? Again, I always say it, no one's got handcuffs on you. No one's saying you can't walk out that door. No one's saying you can't pick up the phone and schedule an appointment with someone to walk you through your next steps. No one's doing that. So I get lots of calls because people are trying to be content and satisfied in lives they hate because they're not living their own lives. They're not choosing their own lives. They're defaulting to what other people want of them because it's an old agreement from family, from ancestral line, from past lifetimes, that this is the way I'm supposed to live. It's outdated. It's time to shift. And it's fear, the next thing that happens, is to, well, if I step into that thing, I've never done it before. So what? I mean, there's a myriad of things that come up for us as to why we stop. And then we say, well, I'm going to stay where I am. So that's the story I hear over and over and over again. The implication that other people will be unhappy with me. I'm not sure I'm that smart, that creative, that good looking, that tall, whatever it is. And how am I going to do this by myself? The assumption that we can't bring in anybody in the whole wide world who loves us or could help us create that new something.
I love it.
That's it.
I want to do this. Leslie's got a great gift. First caller will receive a CD or an MP3 of Stepping into an Intention. This is by Leslie Fonteyne. When we come back, we're going to talk about, what happens when we are faced with the idea of changing the rules. What if we're faced with those things? And what happens when we're faced with the idea that we have to step away from something to step towards something? What do we do about that? Why is this so absolutely important to take a look at what's going on within in order to be and live an epic life outside as well? Stay Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to take a short break. You're listening. Sheer Alchemy. Leslie Fonteyne joining us here today. First caller, 1-800-930-2819. Love to give you a CD. Benny will collect some information from you, and we will be right back to rock and roll.
Keep on falling in. And I love with you. Sometimes I love you. Sometimes you make me.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.
Tune in each Tuesday at noon Pacific and 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for the Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected with Dr. Julie Kroll, featuring weekly segments with David Eisen and the Chakra Sound System. Each week, you will journey through infinite possibilities, expand into social potential, and find beautiful beginnings where endings leave off. Changemakers from around the world will explore what's emergent about the environment, relationships, health, the arts, education, and the evolution of consciousness. Visit thedrjulieshow.com.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatShow.com for listening times in your area.
Get sophisticated with David and Philip Zarza. David and Philip touch on topics such as human potential, spirituality, pop culture, and purposeful living. Experience an insightful reading from David on what the universe has in store for you, or reconnect with a departed loved one. Philip can look into an issue or anything else you may be dealing with. Go to GetSophisticated.com. That's SOPHISTIGAYTED.com or call 206-420-8660.
What if there was no right or wrong way to be a great parent? Join Access Consciousness Facilitator Glenna Rice as she and Dr. Pat invite you to be the questionable parents you truly are and empower you to know and give the awareness required to create ease and joy with your children. Join Dr. Pat and Glenna as they focus on parenting for the modern family. Tune in every month to the Dr. Pat Show on air and online at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Put a little in your life with Keys. Keys Clear Protein Waters have 22 grams of smile-making, attitude-adjusting protein in every bottle. Did I mention its tongue-tingling taste? Not just another guilty pleasure. With Keys, you'll enjoy every low-sugar sip and freedom from gluten, lactose, and GMOs. Who needs the fountain of youth when you can find Keys on Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com. Put a little in your attitude with Keys Protein Water.
I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never loved someone the way that I.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Leslie Fonteyne is joining us here today. This is a fabulous topic that you picked, Leslie. So fabulous. You know, me first. Is that so bad? And, you know, how does it become so good? If you've missed any part of this show, you will be able to go back and listen to it. Because, you know, some of the questions, Leslie, you're asking, have you made a lot of decisions or agreed to do things that put others first, only to resent it later? You know, how do we sabotage our success? By continuously putting
My name is Faraz Jaka.
after
I'm a professional poker player.
And then losing sight of it. But before the break, one of the things that I asked you about was if we shift this, we may have to change the rules. We may have to do. So talk about that for a minute, because the minute that we talk about changing the rules, you know, that is accompanied by the fear of loss of something.
Correct. So, before I launch into this, I do want to let some people understand something that the sessions that I do, when I'm bringing in ascended masters, archangels, doing that work to remove old agreements that don't serve us anymore, that's going to result in some deep change in terms of what you begin to draw in. So don't want people to think that we're just going to talk about this and you go, okay, boom, you should be there now. What we're doing here is surfacing the things within us that have some pretty uncomfortable and unpleasant results in our lives so that we can identify them and then make a decision about whether we do want to shift. So I do want to bring that up to some people so that they're aware, and you're free to call me and go to my website, lesliefonteyne.com, and we can take a look at some of this stuff within you. So I do want to let you know that we're not expecting you to wave the wand today and have it all gone. But, you are so right. When we make the choice to step into all that we are, a.k.a. be selfish, a.k.a. be aware of what our essence is, we immediately begin to make different choices and different decisions in our lives. And everyone in our lives that we have right now under the current agreements is going to be a bit disturbed. Now, the neat thing is pretty much 60% of the ones in our lives right now will shift with us. Remember, we trained them to be that way. We helped them get that way too, So now we want to look at, all right, what is the new energy? Then we have to retrain them. There's going to be some discomfort. Remember, you've been pondering this new thing for a while. Well, you've just made the big announcement to these people that are already in your life. Give them a minute. Give them some time to take this one in. And then let them make some shifts. Let them be a little uncomfortable. Don't run into the rescue. Just allow yourself to continue to shift. Does this mean you quit going to the grocery store, quit feeding people, stop loving them? No. We go to such extremes on these new desires and new steps that we're making in our lives. But we do drop some of the things that we know other people really can't handle and that were excuses for us to not step into all that we are. So do we need some bravery points? Lots of bravery points. I help you bringing in some of the courage and the wisdom to step into all that you are because you've been hiding, right? Some of you have been hiding a while. I can tell you I have areas in my life I've been hiding. We all have that. We're on this planet together. But now we can shift and begin to create. So don't be surprised if there's a little disturbance, right? When you're in the air and you hit that turbulence in the airplane, you're going to have some turbulence, but the plane didn't crash. Your life is not going to crash.
Leslie, one of the things that I did want to talk with you about is, look, this is one of the hardest things that I think people look at in their lives. It really is. How do we get the wisdom to know the difference? And what do I mean by the difference? How do we get the wisdom? And please talk about this, because you and I were referring to it during the break. And what I said to you is, whenever I fall into doubt, I can literally measure with some form of measurement how far away from my belief in spirit or connection to spirit I am. If I'm connected and I'm doing the things that need to be done to make sure that I really do want to be guided and do the things that I'm meant to do, then I'm going to work on that. When I don't, oh my God, the nasties show up, really. So I wanted you to address that for a minute, because so often we think, you know what, I think these two are on to something. I don't even know where to begin with picking me. Can you give us a couple of examples of how we might, and sometimes we have to start smaller, about picking me?
Right. Well, right now I'm getting a lot of tightness in heart space, and also a little bit down in the second, which is your security center, and not just for you, but for some people listening. So I'd say the first thing to check in on is where you're feeling tight, and to go into that tightness. So many of us are not able to listen to ourselves. We're afraid to listen. We're afraid of how bad it is. And so the first thing is we assume that anything that God's doing, anything that Source is doing in our lives is going to be bad. It's going to hurt people. No, no, no. It is not going to hurt people. So start going into your heart space and what the tightness is about, what the fear is, what the anxiety. Listen, take that 5 minutes. You may not have an answer for a while. but allow yourself to go into what's going on. I can't tell you how many times I have had to wait to find out the answer to what the block is or to what the interference is. And you shared some great examples earlier about that. So this is bringing it into reality, but don't be afraid or panicked when you don't have an answer right away. The next thing that you said, which I really like, is not asking why. When you get a vision and a desire, start right off the bat, writing that thing down, letting yourself do a stream of consciousness. Don't start editing. Don't start tearing it down, explaining to yourself why it can't happen, how is it going to happen. Forget that. So that's another tip, is that when you're getting a vision, a dream, and a goal, let that thing percolate. Let that thing open up for you, all right? And then draw in source. Bring in source to go, I'm creating this thing. I am abundant. I'm drawing in my support team. I'm drawing them in the ethers, and I'm drawing them in my physical life. And I'm just creating this new thing with the most positive of energies that I can imagine. And I don't have to see it happen tomorrow. I'm just allowing that I'm living in it as if it were already here. So these are some techniques that we've all heard about. But when we bring it home, sometimes we don't know what to do with the discomfort. I know that makes sense to you.
It does make sense to me, but I have to tell you, too, that part of what you're talking about, picking me instead of we, makes me, and I'm sure others, very uncomfortable. And, that's an uncomfort or a discomfort that we really do need to get used to.
Yeah.
The discomfort doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
And then that's the dilemma that we have, because we go through this, well, wait a minute, I'm going to pick me today. Oh, really? You're going to go see that movie? Well, nobody else really wants to go to see that movie. Well, you know what? I could go by myself. But the idea of not going to the movie to see a movie I want to go see is not really kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we make those decisions. We make it around simple things like movies or foods, but then we make it around big things. Really, Pat? You're doing what with your life? A radio show? You got to be kidding me.
Very awesome. Now, this is thinking big, and again, who's sizing it, right? Big according to whom, right? So sometimes we tell people to start small. Okay, if you need to do that, but if the vision that came to you is huge, go with it. And you've done that. You're an example of that. It's an inspiration to a lot of people. So let's just let folks know, since we're coming to the end here, please don't hesitate to reach out to me for actual clearing so that we can begin shifting you into all that you are and looking at the blocks that are interfering with your ability to step into all that you are. It's not a mistake. This has come up for you right now. So allow yourself to have the opportunity this time, this moment, to shift.
Thank you, Leslie. Leslie, please, 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 one more time, let folks know how they can find out more about you, how they can find out how to schedule a session, and find out where you're going to be.
All righty. You can go to my website, LeslieFonteyne.com, LeslieFonteyne.com. I am going to be in numerous places. The expos are listed on my website, but definitely give me a call. We can have a consultative session about what to do next in your path toward your abundance.
All right, Leslie Fonteyne, everybody, Sheer Alchemy. Thank you all so very much for tuning us in and turning us on. It is so great to be in the presence of all of you out there and your willingness to not just take a look at who you are and what you do, but to take a look at what you want to become. We'll see you next time.